Rokita from Cosmic Bliss again, and I'm going to show you a second part of my tutorial. I'm going to explain how to use drums, how to do drum programming, and show you some basic time signatures. So let's start with VST. I use MT Power Drum Kit. It's considered to be the best free drum kit, and if you open it, you have a simple drum set with snares, crashes. One moment. I like to make my snare a bit quieter because it's very loud here. So every basic drum kit has some drums and cymbals. You have hi-hats, crash cymbals, you have ride cymbal, and you also have a few tones you can use for drum fills. Here you have snare, and this one is a bass drum. So now we can start doing some simple drum beats or blast beats. So this is an example I made in like 20 seconds. So basically you have to put some notes. So this grid here is your time signature. Here we have 4/4. You have 4 big parts of the grid, but you can play around and change this. In FL Studio, here you have time makers, add time signature change, and let's pick something random. So when you have C7/4, you have still 4 big bars and 7 small bars. Here in the 4/4 you have 4 small bars. It's this one, and here is this one. So this one is called 7/4 because it has 4 long bars and 7 small. And now let's take a look how it looks here. So you have 3 small bars and 4 longer bars. So that means 3 beats of a quarter note. It's not that important, but I want you to understand that you can play around with time signatures and make something more interesting than just some 4/4. So let's use some other time signature, 5/4. And as you see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 smaller bars. So we can move it here, and it fits the bigger bar. And absolutely honestly, I have to say that I start all my drum beats with something very simple like this one. It's just a snare and kick. But don't worry, we can use it to make something more. While I don't have a one trick to make amazing drums, you can always play around. No, not good. So as you can see, I just move a bit every note and see what I can get. But in the end, this tutorial series is called How to Make Black Metal. So let's use only the 4/4 and do some plastics. So right now, every bar represents a random example of blast beat. And this is the basic you need for almost, let's say, 80% of your songs. And my favorite trick is to choose one of them to be the main beat for every verse. And we can have something fast and then slower. Now, instead of just clicking here, let's take a look at one of my songs. So this is one of my new songs that isn't published yet. And here you can see what I did in the drum programming process. So as you see, there are, let's say, two main patterns, like this one. So I use this for slower parts. I use this for releasing the tension I made in the verse with that drum pattern. As you see, it's kind of blast beat, but well, not exactly what a blast beat should be. You have very fast bass drum, some slower snares, and the crashes, something in between. And this is how the two patterns work together. And here, in the chorus, you have the slower pattern, but with faster kick drum. And this is why I recommend having at least two patterns and mixing them together to prevent your songs from getting boring. You can use one pattern, add something or delete something, and that way you can have quite interesting songs. And now let's take a look at some technical details. For example, when you have snare drums, you should play around with their velocity to make them sound more realistic. Because it's kind of impossible to play drums and keep the same velocity at every note. You should also do the same with other parts of the drum, like crashes or tones. So I want the first one to be a bit quieter. Here they can be a bit louder. You can also use the Humanize tool here. It's quite random, but it really helps. The notes don't have the same velocity all the time. And it sounds more realistic. Another example is moving those notes just a little bit. Because people don't play drums like machines, you know. And here we use kind of a drum machine. And the final part you need to know is the drum fills. It's probably the hardest thing for me, because coming up with good drum fills is really hard. You can use them at the end of those 4 bars, or basically when you need to show that some part of the song is, let's say, important. I have them here at the end of the 4 bars, and also here. I have probably 2 drum fills per verse. No, actually it's 3. Because I want to use them around the important parts of the verse. Let's listen to the full part. One melody starts, here it ends, it starts again and ends. Here is the slower part. And here I use the drum fill before the end of the verse. To kind of prepare listener for the epic part. Well, of course, I forgot to record that one part about the BPM, also known as tempo. So a BPM is how many, let's say, beats per minute you have. All you need to know is that high BPM is fast and slow BPM is slow. And here you can just choose whatever, just anything that fits your idea. And in the next part, I will teach you how to do all those things, like chord progressions, melody, how to come up with a melody, how to use scales. Don't be afraid of all this long list of scales. You have them for a reason here, so you don't have to memorize them. And see you in the next episode.